Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello.
A nap? You need restorative first and then class. Good morning.
Don't say that.
No nap. If we start on the back, you'll be sorry. Good morning. Isn't this fancy? Chris has hooked us up so we have a little amplification. We'll have to see how we like this. Okay, let's get ready to start. A few of the good things we have coming up are these. We have Briala, our Tuesday evening class, 5:30. She is teaching a class set to music. She's so good at this. It's so much fun. She adds chanting in the end. And it's happening Friday, August 5th from 7 to 8:30. There's a $25 charge. 30-day challenge is starting any day now, August. It's a challenge of attendance between York and Lancaster, and so likely we'll add names of people who want to participate to the chalkboard over there, and you just check off every time you practice. So if you can practice a lot during August, that will help Lancaster take the lead against York, and there's some York people in the studio right now, so let them know you're serious. Bring your child to class week, August 9th through the 16th, and that's a free opportunity to bring your child along with you and let them see what you love to do. I was surprised when I brought my kids about how much they really did like it and how much they participated and felt really good about themselves in the end. Let's get started. Child's pose. Philomena asked if we could start with nap, but I didn't go with that suggestion. So toes together, knees open. Stretch your arms forward and bring your forehead down to the mat. That's it, just settle in. Take a deep, deep breath in and exhale through your mouth. A deep breath in and exhale. Create a slow, steady, deep, rhythmic breath. Yoga is a lot more about allowing than it is doing, so even as you're breathing here, set your intention to allow breath to come in and out of your body. Use your inhale to lift you up into downward facing dog, and when you arrive, begin exploring. Open up, turn on your curiosity. Bend one knee, straighten the other knee. Shake your head out, let your head hang down heavy. From the bottom of your pose to the top, build your foundation. Begin with your hands and with your feet. Press the knuckle of your pointer finger down into the mat. Activate your fingertips. Sink your heels down toward the ground and know that they don't have to touch. But set yourself up so that your feet are a steady foundation. As you look back at them, set them up so that your heels hide behind your toes, and that will line your feet up parallel to one another. With your next inhale, raise your right leg up into the air behind you. Stretch it up and back, then bend your knee, bring your heel to your hip, and turn your hips open toward the right side of the room, toward Africa. Now wake up your lifted foot. Roll your ankle around, wiggle your toes, and ask for your foot to come alive. Lower your right leg to the ground. Next, lift your left leg into the air behind you. Stretch it up and back. Bend your knee, heel to your hip. Turn your hips open now to the left side of the room. Push down with your hands so that you can opposite rise up with your left knee. And in doing that, stretch open the whole left side of your body. That's it. So knee really high, side of your body, stretch it open, and lower your foot to the floor. Look to your hands, step forward. Open your feet parallel to one another in hip-width distance. Set your feet up as a powerful foundation, parallel. Weight even throughout the whole surface of your foot, and then hang down. Imagine that the back of your hips, the back of your pelvis, it softens, opens, becomes as broad as it can be right now. As you breathe, in your curiosity, in your imagination, bring space into your lower back. You can walk your hands over to the right off of your mat. Let your head hang down. And breathe and open the left side of your body. Switch sides, walk your fingertips to the other side. Go all the way to the end. And then back to center. Walk your feet together. Press your heels, your toes down into the ground. Squeeze your legs together. Now soften the back of your knees just a micro bend and come rolling up to standing. One bone at a time. Bring your head up last until you're standing tall. Then inhale and sweep your arms overhead. Stretch up, stretch out of your feet. Reach for the ceiling. Hands into prayer position at your heart and pause. Open your eyes. Set your gaze on one steady point in front of you. Set an intention for this practice of who you'll be for others and for yourself during the practice. I really love the quote, "You get great by making others great." And so as you practice today, practice for yourself and then know that it has an impact on the whole room. 3 times we'll chant Om together. Take a deep breath in. Reach up to the ceiling and breathe in, stretch, and then fold down, breathe out. Halfway lift, inhale, make your back long and flat, chaturanga as you exhale. Upward facing dog, make your legs strong, downward facing dog. 3 breaths, inhale, and exhale, stretch your sitting bones up and back. Take a deep breath in, and exhale. 1 more, inhale. Exhale, empty your breath, look to your hands, move your feet up to your hands. Halfway lift, stretch out of your hips, fold down. Stand up and breathe in. Reach up to the ceiling and back, up out of your hips, fold to the floor gently, slowly with control. Halfway lift, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog with an exhale, 3 breaths. Each time you come to downward facing dog, start at your foundation, be purposeful. And then from there, what is possible? With a strong foundation, what is possible to reach up and back, and then move up to your hands. Halfway lift, fold down. Chair pose, sit back and reach your arms up, stretch, fold to the floor. Halfway lift, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, move your arm bones back. Downward facing dog, step your right foot forward. Warrior 1, deep lunge, strong legs, reach up. Hands down, chaturanga. Empty your breath. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Now the left side, step forward, deep, powerful lunge, reach up out of your hips. Chaturanga. Upward dog, downward dog. 3 breaths. Use your breath to connect yourself to this space. The best way to bring yourself into presence simply, easily, is to get connected to what's actually happening. Your breath can be a measure of that. Look to your hands, move up to your hands. Halfway lift, flat back, fold down. Chair pose, sit back, arms up, fold to the floor. Halfway lift, wrap your shoulder blades back to your spine, then chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Right side, step forward and lunge. Activate your back leg so that you feel no sensation in your lower back, and then chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Left side, step forward and lunge. Inhale, reach your arms up. Hands to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale and rest. Each one of these downward facing dogs can be a measure. You can mark your progress. Mark where you're creating space, where you could create more space, where you're adding strength, adding ease. Each downward dog will tell you that story. One more deep breath in. Exhale, empty, press your thigh bones back, and then spring up to your hands, feet together. Halfway lift, and fold. Chair pose, squat back, arms up, fold to the floor. Half lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Raise your right leg into the air behind you. Stretch it up and back. Bend your knee, open your hips, look toward the right side of the room. Press your hands down. Now peek underneath of your left arm, look off of your mat and watch for your right foot. Flip your dog, land softly. Fingertips to the ceiling and then overhead. All the way to wheel pose if that's the right stretch for your body right now. Activate your legs and activate your feet and be very strong, powerful as you hold this pose. On the bones, off of the waist. Reach to the ceiling, float over side plank. Put your right hand down, face the left side of the room. Stack your feet up. Now bring your left hip, your top hip forward about 2 more inches so that your hips are stacking one on top of the other. Push down with your right hand so you rise up and get lighter in your armpit. Now 3 more breaths. You can intensify the pose if you like. 2 more breaths. Here's your last breath. Stretch up and look to the ceiling, then gently high plank to low. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Exhale through your mouth. Raise your right leg into the air behind you. Stretch it up and back. As you exhale, bring your knee to your nose, your armpits over your wrist. Get round like a Halloween cat. Right leg up and back. Inhale. Exhale, bring your knee to your nose. Hollow out your armpits. Right leg up and back. Knee to your nose. I'll place your foot forward for crescent lunge. Stand on the ball of your back foot and put weight into your baby toe. So move your heel over to the left side of the room, enough that you bring weight into your baby toe. Organize your hips so that they're square to the front of the room. Now lift up out of your hips, deep legs, and then you reach yourself up out of your legs. Reach up and look back. Reach for the back of the room. Pull the pit of your belly and stretch up tall in your front body. Reach back. Now hands to prayer position and pause. Twist toward Africa on the right side of the room. Anchor your left elbow to your right knee. Activate your back leg. Make it very strong. Like someone is pulling your heel behind you. You can then pull forward away from that pressure. Open your arms. You can reach your bottom arm down and your top arm up. Wrap your top arm behind your back. You can go right here, Clayton. Just put your wrist, yeah. You can reach under and fully bind your arms if that's available to you. We'll work together for the last 3 breaths. With your inhale, get lighter with your torso on your thigh. As you exhale, ease and twist. 2 more. Inhale, get light, lift up. Exhale and turn. Now stay for this whole breath. Exhale and empty. When there's nothing left, inhale, spin around, warrior 2. Land in the pose. Big, deep lunge. Anchor your back foot. I look back at my back foot a lot of times and find it pointing away from me. Turn your toes so that they point here to this left side of the room. Then lunge down. Be in discovery about where your front knee is willing to point and point your toes in that direction. Now hips, ribs, shoulders, they face the side of the room. So work your hips, ribs, and shoulders to facing the side of the room. Extended side angle, right fingertips to the block or floor at the arch of your right foot. Left arm in the air. Big, deep lunge. You can bind your top arm around behind your back. And then just keep working your right hip under your body, chest to the ceiling. Let's take one more breath here. Exhale and turn your chest to the ceiling. Then hands to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Deep, deep breath in. And an exhale. Raise your left leg into the air behind you. Stretch it up and back. Bend your knee, heel to your hip. Turn your hips open toward the left side of the room. Active now. You want your top foot to be searching, to be active, to be ready to reach. Float over. Flip your downward dog over. Land softly. And then 2 feet, plant them into the ground. Make your legs strong and your feet strong so they're an anchor, a foundation for you to reach out of as you create this back bend. Three more breaths. Here. It's got to be up here or down here. Last breath. Gracefully float over side plank. Put your left hand to the ground, face the right side of the room. Stack your feet up. Get very curious, very interested in your feet. As your big toes touch, peel your baby toes back toward your face so your feet are alive, open, active. Breathe. You've got 3 more breaths. Last breath, look up, reach for the ceiling, high plank. Look forward, low plank, stretch out. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Deep, deep breath in. And exhale, raise your left leg into the air behind you. Stretch it back. As you exhale, knee to your nose, all of the air out, round like a Halloween cat. Reach up and back, inhale. Exhale, knee to your nose. Pull your ribs in. One more time. Reach up and back. Knee to your nose. Step your right foot forward. Crescent lunge. Arms overhead. Crescent lunge, I think, is one of those gateway poses that give you access throughout your practice to how to execute so many other poses. The key to me really is in turning your hips square, but then drawing your left thigh bone back into your pelvis. Really turn your right hip forward. Once you've created your legs as strong, reach up to the ceiling. If you take your legs down deep, then you have access to lifting up out of your legs. That's it, Steve. Now reach up and back. 2 more times, big deep lunge. Bend your knee a little more, Kathy. Reach up and back. Hands to prayer position. Twist to the left. Bring your right elbow to your left knee. Turn toward the left side of the room. Once you've anchored your elbow, then activate your foundation. Make your back leg really strong. You can open your arms, bottom arm down and top arm up. Keep strong in your back leg. Keep pressing your back hamstring up to the ceiling. So with strong legs, you can relax a little bit more in your back. Every time you exhale, bring in the ease and start to turn. 2 more breaths. Last breath. Hold chest to the ceiling. Pause. Inhale, spin around, warrior 2. Up and around, ride your breath. Lunge down, warrior 2. Anchor your feet. Get purposeful with your feet. Be in choice. Instead of just where your feet ended up, get in choice about where your feet are. Take your legs deep into the pose. You've got it. And if you need a little rest, sometimes put your hands on your hips or straighten your leg for a beat. Hips, ribs, shoulders face to the side of the room. Now bring them up. Extended side angle. Left fingertips to the block or floor. Yeah, really reach for the block if you've got a block. It's a pretty nice landing spot in the pose. Gives you access to something deeper in your legs. If nobody asked me, I probably wouldn't take my fingertips to the ground ever. I'd rest on my thigh always. But there's something more for you with your fingertips reaching down. 3 more breaths. Tuck your left hip under your body. You just keep working it under your body. Here's your last breath, chest to the ceiling, gracefully, hands to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Deep, deep breath in, and exhale. Hips up and back, stretch out of the pose. 1 more, deep breath in. Exhale, empty your breath. Look to your hands, move up to your hands. Feet together, halfway lift. Fold down. Chair pose, squat back, arms up. Bring your hands to prayer position, twist toward Africa. You can put your elbow outside of your right knee or between your knees. Reach your left hand down to the ground, between your knees or outside, right arm to the ceiling. Halfway bind with your right hand. Then fully bind with your left hand. Deep squat. Bend your right knee a little more. That's it, Michelle. You might use a strap to connect your hands. Now 3 more breaths here. Keep making length between the crease of your right hip and the notch of your neck. You've got it. This is your last breath. Unwind, hang down. That's it, Caleb. Open your feet hip width distance. Hook your big toes with your middle and index fingers. That's it. Now make your feet parallel to one another and create broad, wide hips. Widen the back. You can soften the back of your knees and then stretch down. All the way down to the ground. Keep rotating your pelvis forward, lifting your sitting bones. It's funny, as much as my hamstrings have become flexible over the years, I can still find a really tight place in the very top of my hamstrings. How can you access that? Push your heels down and really roll your pelvis forward, sitting bones high. Release your toes, put your spider claw fingertips on the ground like tent poles, right there underneath of your shoulders. Keep your big toes in one line and lift your right foot over to Africa. Keep your foot flexed. You might find a neighbor's hip there, and you could rest your foot on their hip, only on their hip, not their kidneys, but lift your foot up as high as it will go. Keep it forward. It's tempting to move your foot behind you, but keep it forward so your big toes are in one line. Last breath, go as high as you can with your foot. Lower it to the ground, shake your hips out. That's a tricky one. I do always like to share with you that the first time Sean Korn was the teacher that asked me to do that, I could not even lift my foot off the floor. Lift your foot to the left now. Left leg up. Foot forward. A little more forward, Adam. Adam's suffering over here. He thought he was strong. All of a sudden, there's a new reality. You can unlock your standing knee. Unlock your standing knee. Take your foot forward, Steve. Oh my goodness. Lift your foot high. Here's the last breath, as high as you can go. And then to the ground, shake your hips out. Feet together. This will feel good. It's like a relief now. You get to do chair pose. Squat down and reach your arms up. It's all about perspective, right? Sit back. Make it the reaching of your arms that has you not fall down. Then hands to prayer. Twist to the left. Anchor your right elbow outside of your left knee or between your knees. Sit way back, deep in the creases in your hips. Left arm to the ceiling. Bind, wrap your top arm behind your back. Reach between your knees with your right hand. Hold hands outside of your right hip. Take your legs deep. Once you've created a bind, now you have the opportunity to make resistance happen, to lift up out of your legs. Your gaze should be more to this upper front corner than the back corner. So make your front spine long. That's it. 2 more breaths. Deep squat, bend your left knee. That's it, Chrissy. Last one. Unwind and hang down. Open your feet wide. Tuck your hands under the soles of your feet so that you're standing palm to sole. Wiggle your toes, massage your wrists. Can lift up a bit toward a halfway lift and just stretch out the capsule of your wrists, your elbows, your shoulders. Invite ease, invite nourishing, replenishing intention to the pose. You're so powerful. You're such a powerful creator. If your intention is to bring ease and restoration right now, that's what you'll have. Release your hands from beneath your feet. Put your left spider claw fingertips on the ground underneath of your left shoulder. With your right hand, middle and index finger around your right foot's big toe. Lift your right leg into the air. See, now this time you'll know your foot is in the right position. Right leg to the side. Hold on to your toe and lift up. Left hand on the ground. Who knew that the side of your hips could be strong? You've got it. Lift it up. Be encouraging with your breath to the people around you. You make other people great. You do that right now with your breath. You do it with your participation, with your intensity, your willingness. Foot as high as you can go with it, and then back down to the ground and wiggle out your hips. One knee bends, one knee straightens, a little shake for your hips, or a deep stretch. Other side. Left fingertips around your left foot's big toe and lift it up. I know it's a good one. All the guys in the room are giving me the evil eye about this one. A little bit of flexibility can help out a lot in this pose. You've got it. Lift it up. Press down with your standing foot. Create the anchor that you need to give you support through the holding of the pose. Leg as high as you can go with it, and then back to the ground. Shake your hips out. Oh. Shake your hips out, shake your hips out. See if I can get this stretch right. Okay, let's experiment for a second. So just stay in your forward fold, fingertips to the ground. Step your right foot around behind your left foot, and then walk your hands over to the left. Your hips will be happy about this. Can you feel the stretch in that? Yes? No? Yes? Okay. That's just not one of the directions my body really needs a lot, so I can't just drop into that and make sure I got it right. Okay, switch sides, hands back, front and center. Strong stance on your right foot. Wrap your left foot around behind your right. And then walk your hands over to the right. You can soften your knees if that helps you access the sides of your hips. Stretch is meant for the side of your hips. Okay, come back out of that. Walk to the back of your mat and kneel down. All the way to the back of your mat. Kneel down. Put your forearms on the ground and measure palm to elbow. Anchor your elbows. Open your hands. Interlace your fingers. Keep two baby fingers side by side instead of one on top of the other. And then press down with your forearms and hug in. So you have a basket in your arms. Press down with your forearms and hug in. Put your head on the ground. You want to keep your elbows only shoulder width distance. Otherwise, the base will be too broad to be supportive. Then turn your toes under and lift your hips up like downward facing dog. Pause. Bring your attention into your arms. Push down with your forearms and hug in. Walk your feet in towards your face, and as you do that, you'll roll just behind your hairline on the mat. Then bend one knee into your chest, and that might be where some of you stay. Clayton, you can go that far. Head down, one knee into your chest. Then maybe two knees into your chest. Whoa! If you roll over, you're too far back on the crown of your head. Bend your knees and hug them in. You'll find that there's a lot of challenge in keeping your knees hugged into your chest and your feet flexed. Breathe there. Take 5 breaths there. And after 5, if you're ready to open your hips and keep your knees bent, you can take that next stage. So the idea is learning to strengthen your core. Bend your knees. Flex your feet. Yes, now get strong. Push. Push against my feet hand. Push. Right there. 5 more breaths upside down. You may be in the downward dog. You may have one knee into your chest. 2 knees. You may have your hips open and your knees bent. You may have your feet straight up in the air. Keep working to hug your ribs into your belly. Your ribs into your belly. When you come down, repeat the exit. Make it the same as your entrance. So go through all the same steps and land your toes gently on the ground. Barely any impact. Newborn pose. Hips to your heels, forehead on the ground, arms behind you. So the first stage of just being in the downward dog, pressing your arms down and hugging in, is a really important core strength builder. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Don't worry, we'll try that again later. If you feel like you were just getting used to something new there. Deep breath in and an exhale. Downward facing dog. Hands on the ground. Turn your toes under. Lift your hips up and back. Now stretch out. Bring your attention right into your body and listen to what it has to tell you about the experience that you're having so far this morning. You're creating this practice right now, only you for yourself. I'm making suggestions. What's actually happening right now? Where could you use a little more space? Where could you use a little more strength in your body? Take a deep breath in. Exhale and empty your breath. Look to your hands and jump up to your hands. When you arrive, halfway lift. Now really stretch out long out of your hips and fold down. Come all the way up to standing. Stretch your arms overhead, reach up. Eagle pose, wrap your right arm under your left. Now keep your back as though it's leaning against the wall behind you, and just bend your knees and slide down the back with your spine, or wall with your spine. Wrap your right leg. Tuck your toes behind your standing calf muscle if it's available. It could just be that you squat today. It could be that you cross and rest your right toes on the ground, but squat with your left knee. That's it. You've got it right there. Pull the pit of your belly into your body and up. Squat down low, press your standing foot into the ground. Step out, sweep your arms overhead and reach up. Up, bend back. Now the left side. Left arm under, left leg over, squat. Wrap your left leg over your right leg. And just keep your eyes fixed on one point at the front of the room. And let that point be your anchor to what's happening here. Focus your breathing slow and steady. Use your breathing as a connection point to other people in the room. Step out, reach your arms overhead and stretch up and back. And then hug your right knee into your chest. Take a quick glance down at your left foot. Line it up with your heel behind your middle toe. Really insist on that and discover what's new for you. It might be humbling. You might not hold the pose as easily as you otherwise would have, but stand with your foot heel behind the middle toe. Choose to keep holding onto your right knee or hold on the outside edge of your right foot and extend your leg. Whichever grip you choose, knee or foot, keep sucking your right thigh bone back into your pelvis as though you could let go and your knee or foot would not drop. Now, foot forward. I know you want to go to the side. I like to go there too, but you can feel the challenges in with your foot forward. 5 breaths here. Hold your knee or hold your foot and stand tall. 3 more. It's a bent knee if you're holding your knee. Keep sucking your right thigh bone down into your pelvis. Pull it down and in. Even you, Ted, down and in with your right thigh bone. Open to the right, turn, look, and reach to the left. There you go. See, it's a little easier to the side. Stand very tall. Breathe. Pull your thigh bone back into your pelvis here. It's tempting to press your thigh out of your body, but stay integrated. Okay, leg forward. Switch hands on your near foot. Dancing Shiva. Reach for the back of the room. Create the sensation of a stretch all the way down the outer side of your right thigh. Whether it's a bent knee or straightened leg that makes that happen, stand tall. Yep. As much length from the crease of your right hip to the notch of your neck as you can create. Come forward, hug your knee into your chest. Pause, take a deep breath in. Collect yourself, anchor yourself again. Deep breath in, and exhale. Push your heel forward, hands on your hips, elbows pointing back. Bend your knee. Inhale, stand very tall. Exhale, press your heel forward. Stay tall, stay tall. Bend your knee, inhale. Exhale, press your heel forward, stay tall. Sweep your arms overhead. Lift your toes up to your belly button. That's it, Philomena. Lift, lift. Bend your knee, hands to prayer position, airplane, square hips. Square hips. Reach back with your right leg. Press back. Activate your back leg. Let it be the anchor for your back bend. So open up the back of your right knee. Imagine you're pressing your foot on the back wall of the room. Open it up, Adam. Open, 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 open. Chest up. Upward dog in your chest. You've got it, Jeff. Shoulders back. Pause, hands to prayer position. Collect yourself. Pause. Push your foot down into the ground so your hip gets lighter. Then turn to the right for half moon pose. Left fingertips, block or floor under your shoulder. Lift your back leg high. Everything is about your right leg right now. It's easy to focus on your left, but just push that one down. Your right leg, press it up to the ceiling. Press, Sierra, press. Press it up. Allow your hips to turn open toward Africa. Keep pressing, you're strong. Look up, fingertips high. Oh, I was thinking I had Sierra's foot there, Jen's. That's it, Clayton. Okay, foot down and hang. Foot down and hang. Step your left leg back. Step your left leg back and lunge. Put your back knee on the ground and point your toes. A deep forward lunge where your knee comes over top of your front foot's toes. 2 hands to your right thigh, press down, let your chest rise up, and bring stretching into the front of your left hip. So lunge far forward. So you really challenge the front of your left hip. Then, with your legs this deep, you keep stretching your torso up out of your legs. You can look to the right toward Africa. Come forward, reach behind you with your left hand for your left ankle. Capture your ankle with your left hand. Deep forward lunge, square your pelvis and suck your thigh bones back into your pelvis, including your right one. Instead of it rolling out, and suck it back in. Got it? Reach your right hand forward. Yoga mudra is when your thumb and your pointer finger touch. Your other 3 fingers reach. So mudras are poses for your hands. You do them all the time, you just might not realize it. Look to your fingertips. Now gently release your back foot and bring your hands down by your sides. One arm by either side, point your toes behind you. You know we're not going to skip this. Square your hips. Toes point behind you. Yep, so the top of your foot is on the ground. Look forward when you inhale. Sweep your arms overhead, look up and straighten your back knee. Toes stay pointed behind you. That's it. Deep, deep lunge. Now you reach up out of your legs and for the wall behind you. Keep lifting your belly up and back. Gently put your knee down, hands to the floor. Do chaturanga on your knees so you can really keep your shoulders back. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. In downward dog, take a deep, deep breath in. Exhale, empty your breath. Let's add a sigh. Take a deep breath in, and then it's like a whistle on a tea kettle. Let the energy out. Look to your hands. Jump up to your hands. Halfway lift. Fold down. Come all the way up. Stretch your arms overhead, and then hug your left knee into your chest. Be purposeful about how you place your right foot. Even more, straighten it. Push down on the ball of your big toe. That's it, Clayton. Just push. Hug your left knee into your chest. Left thigh bone back into your pelvis. Choose to extend if you're able to hold on to your foot. You might use a strap, but you want to have connection to your foot if you're extending your leg. So if your arm doesn't quite seem long enough, just use a strap or keep a bent knee. Now 5 breaths here. Keep dropping your left hip down. Soften your knees though. Yep. That'll bring you right into that top of your hamstring that I was saying can get so tight, even when you think you're feeling pretty flexible. At the 5th breath, open your leg to the left. You keep sucking your thigh bone back into your center line. Reach to the right. Make your first action an action of hugging in, and then your second action an action of reaching out. So you hug in to expand out. Thigh bone back into your pelvis. Bring your leg forward, switch hands. Right hand, left knee or foot. Dancing Shiva, reach to the back of the room with your left hand. Allow the crease of your left hip to get deep, your left hip to drop down. And then you stand up tall. Even this down, but this up. That's it, Jill. Bring a deep stretch into the side of your left thigh. Come forward, hug your knee into your chest. Hands to your hips. Take a deep breath in, knee bent. Exhale, press your heel forward. Stand tall. Bend your knee, inhale. Head rise high. Exhale, heel forward. Tall. Bend your knee. Exhale, heel forward, stay tall, arms overhead. Toes up to your belly button, reach up, look up. There you go. Feel that difference? Bend your knee, hands to prayer, reach back for airplane. That was good. Powerful legs. Make your legs powerful. Those are your foundation. Pull out of this. Leg high, chest high. Breathe. You've got it. Chest high. You got it. Press your foot down. Chest high. Insist on the balance. Breathe right there. 2 more breaths. 1 more. Nice. Pause. Hands to prayer position. Pause. Collect yourself. Push down with your standing foot. Get light in your standing hip. Then turn. Half moon pose. Face the left side of the room. Put your right hand on a block or the floor under your right shoulder. Make your back leg really active. Press it up. Press it up. Push down. Keep turning your hips open. I'm going to move this foot a little forward. A little bit forward here. There you go. Now turn open. 2 more breaths. 2 more breaths. Last one. Stretch up. Leg high. Oh, there you go. Down. Foot down and hang. Step your right foot back in lunge. Right foot back in lunge. Kneel down. Point your toes behind you. 2 hands to your left thigh. Push down. Rise up with your chest. Look to the left side of the room. At first, it may be that you have leaned so far forward your belly is resting on your thigh. That's fine at first. Get deep in your legs. Then pull the pit of your belly in and lift up off of your thigh. Get your belly off of your thigh as much as you can. Look forward. Reach around behind you with your right hand and capture your right ankle with your right hand. You can flex your ankle if that helps you to hold on. Yoga Mudra is the pose for your left hand. Thumb and pointer finger touch. Stretch your other 3 fingers. Then reach up with your left hand. Look up to your fingers. Pit of your belly. Pull it in and rise up out of your flexibility. Gently release your back foot. Toes point behind you. Look forward and square your hips. Arms by either side. Deep breath in. Exhale. On the next inhale, arms up and lift up. Straighten your back knee. If your toes pointing behind you, you've got it. Deep legs, square hips. Now pull yourself up out of your legs with your arms reaching and your wrists and your fingers. Look to the back of the room. Stretch back. Gently bring yourself down. 2 hands down. Chaturanga on your knees. Lower down. Shoulders back and collarbones broad. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take 1 deep, deep breath in. And exhale. Look to your hands. Move up to your hands. When you arrive, halfway lift, stretch. Fold down. If you have a strap, grab it. Come up to standing. There are more straps up in the basket if you'd like. Brittany will run them around the room if you want one. Standing bow pose or dancer's pose. I usually will choose dancer's pose for my body, but I'm giving you the option of either. If it's dancer's pose with a strap, lasso your right ankle and work your elbows forward. If it's standing bow, your right shoulder goes behind you and your palm, it should face Africa. Bend your knee and hold your ankle. Ankle, work with your ankles. You've got it. Hands together. Steady on your standing foot. And then up you go into the pose, your knee, move it directly behind you, not toward Africa to the side of the room. Keep wrapping your back thigh bone under your body. That's good. Square, Jess. Work for, yes, that's it. Kick high with your foot like it's pressing into the ceiling. That's it, Beth. Good, Kathy. Jeff, square your hips more. Press your foot up. Look up to the ceiling, and then gracefully come out with one breath. Switch sides, prepare for the other side, and go. And go. Stay in the flow of your breath, the flow of your practice. Straight up and back. Activate your kicking foot. Clayton, walk your hands down that strap. A greater challenge. Active in your back foot. Wake it up, Michelle. Wake up your foot. Yep. And then hang off of your foot. Keep squaring your hips, long left side waist. Woo! Long left side waist, fight for it right now. That's it, more, fight for it again, Michelle. Long left side waist. Okay, step out. Windmill your arms around, first side again. Go for it, go. Go right into it. Stay in the flow and the rhythm of your breath. We have teacher training this weekend, and we had a long discussion yesterday about the challenge of being present, of staying checked into the moment. We discovered in our conversation, we have perfected our techniques for checking out. So smooth and good at that, we don't even know it's happening. So let's all take that insight and discover today what it would take to stay checked into the flow. Keep squaring your hips. Your body's an anchor. Your breath is an anchor. It will take you to what's actually happening out of your head and the stories. What's actually happening is what's real. What the story is in your head is an alternative reality. Okay, step out. Use one breath. Stay present. Keep your gaze fixed. Switch sides. Go into the other side. Right into it, peacefully, but powerfully. A peaceful warrior. Lots of length between your left hip and your left ribs. Yes, Jill. Keep going for that. Nice job. You'll find some more space by lifting here. Kick, kick, kick. Take up the space by kicking. 2 more breaths. Ease, ease now. Ease for the last breath. Step out. Move to the front of your mat, feet together, arms by your side. Let the sweat wait for later. Feet together, arms down, and breathe. Feet together, arms down, stand still. Even assistants, stand still. Arms down, and breathe. There's a time to be in the experience you created. It's like showing up for a miracle. Be present for it. What's actually happening right now. Tree pose. Sole of your right foot to your left inner thigh, or create lotus in your legs if that's available to you. That would be the sole of your right foot facing the ceiling and your knee dropping down. Would never want to force that. Unlock your standing knee, make it soft in the back, and then push down on the ball of your big toe. You're getting better at this. Push down. Ease your toes, soften your toes. Interlace your fingers, press your palms to the front of the room and then overhead. Push down with your standing foot and reach up with your hands. Reach up with your gaze, reach up with the center of your chest, lift up and look. Pull the pit of your belly in, get as long and lean as you can, stretch gently. Peacefully, step out, switch sides. Right foot down and make it a foundation. Create a foundation with purpose. Left foot up. You choose each step of the way. You choose your practice. You choose your reality. Choose how you want your foundation to be. You're responsible for the practice that you have today. You're making all of the choices about the reality of your practice. You can choose one that has a powerful foundation. You can choose one that has a careless foundation. There are options like that. Interlace your fingers, palms forward, arms overhead if you haven't done that yet, or create the arm position that works in your body today. A little more belly, a lot more ease and space back here. There. Look up, stretch up out of your legs, up out of your hips, and then step out. Feet together, front of your mat, squat down, chair pose, reach your arms up. 5 breaths together here. Create that your feet are parallel to one another, that you're sitting back deeply. Pull your belly in out of your thighs, out of your legs. Pull it in and up so your lower back stretches long. Pull it in and up. Here's your last breath. Stretch up, look up, fold to the floor. Halfway lift. Chaturanga, you can step back or jump back. Upward facing dog, strong legs, pause. Strong legs, arm bones back. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward, big, deep legs, lunge. Reach your arms up and back, deep legs. Turn left, warrior 2. Flip your right palm up, so hips, ribs, shoulders face the left side of the room. Suck your right thigh bone back into your body, lunge. Chrissy, come back here with your back foot. Front palm up, reverse the warrior. Keep coming. Chrissy, you have long legs. Reverse the warrior, up and back with your arms. That's it. Both sides of your body long, and you stretch up and back. Straighten your front leg on track, straighten it. You can straighten your front leg. Go ahead, Chrissy. Triangle pose, fingertips to the front of the room, hips back. Doreen, I'm gonna pop your heel out, there. Put your fingertips on the floor behind your front ankle or on the block, and anchor your front foot's big toe down to the ground. Anchor your big toe. Then turn your chest open to the ceiling. You can keep tucking your right hip under your body. You can wrap your top arm around behind your back for a halfway bind. You can even add a back bend by walking your right hand back toward Africa, off of your mat 6 more inches, then drop your head back. Open your chest. Look for the neighbor behind you. Left fingertips to the ceiling. Stand up. Face the side of the room, feet parallel to one another. Hands to your hips, lift your chest up high. Fold forward. All the way forward, forward fold. Pause. Activate your feet and your legs as though they're going to slide into your midline. Create that the back of your pelvis is very broad. Now walk your hands over to your right foot. Your right toes can point out to the right corner of the room. Pivot on your left heel, toes up to the ceiling, so you're squatting down into your right leg. You can keep your fingers on the ground, or you can keep your hands in prayer position. Left toes up to the ceiling, just pivot on your heel and bring the stretch deep into your left inner thigh. Just pause right now. So whichever side you chose to start on, that's fine, just pause there. Let your inner thigh soften. Toes up to the ceiling. Clayton, you are gonna have some surprises for that football team when you get back to school. Okay, now switch sides. Just crawl your fingers across the ground, switch to the other side. And just relax there, rest there. I bet for many of you there's some challenge here. I'll tell you for me, there's a lot of challenge in this pose. Pivot on your heel, drop your hips down to heel height, toes up to the ceiling on your right foot. Whoa, there you go, down you go. Now, visit each side 3 more times. Linger where you need to. As you creep from side to side, do it with your hips as low to the ground as you can manage. So you have 3 visits. You might not need to touch the ground at all in this movement from side to side, and then some of you are going to really need some support from the floor. You make it work for your inner thighs, for your hips. When you've completed your visits to both sides, Then you take forward fold. Wide leg forward fold. Wide leg forward fold. If it's available to you in this forward fold, you can take headstand. You would want to be sure of your headstand so that you know you'll stay on your own mat throughout the headstand. It's a tripod. That means your head is down, and then your hands create a triangle. They would be positioned, whoops, sorry, Kathy, right there. They would be positioned so that they're the base of the triangle and your head is the point of the triangle. 3 more breaths. If you're in the headstand, bring yourself back down, gently if you can, soft landings. Hands to your hips, come up to standing. Turn and face, so you take your time going through that process, but once you're up to standing, turn and face the front of the room. Step your back foot in just a little bit, and open your feet so that they are one knot in front of the other. They're open, they have their own space. Hips square to the front of the room, and your feet, how far apart they belong, is so that it's some work to keep your hips square. Reach your left arm overhead and reach it down your back. Reach your right arm up your back and hold hands. You may need to have a strap in your upper hand and to connect your hands by a strap. There's still probably more straps in the basket. If you need one, or take one from a neighbor who's not using theirs. Lift up high and be square to the front of the room. So for a lot of you, just your left hip forward, another inch. Lift up tall, and then hinge forward. That means your sitting bones, reach them to the wall behind you. Oftentimes, our sitting bones end up reaching to our heels. Reach them to the wall behind you. Imagine you've got an assistant who's pulling your hips back. Look to the side at Gabby. Do you see how she tucks her butt under? Here are her sitting bones. We want them reaching back so she can soften her front knee, and then you pull her hips back. Pull back, like downward dog, and she can resist. Halfway lift. Release your bind. Put your left fingertips on the block or floor, preparing for twisting triangle. You might choose front and center or outside of your right foot. Reach your right arm out to the right side of the room as though you're patting someone on the back. Pause. Create a long body. Twisting triangle. Begin to turn your chest toward Africa. At first, sitting bones reaching back. Body long. Start to turn more. Allow yourself some freedom now. Allow your hips to shift off center. Open up as far as your body will allow. Then hands to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step your left foot forward, lunge. Warrior 1, bold, strong legs. Turn to the right for warrior 2. Big, deep lunge. Go down into your legs. Wake your legs up. The goal in your practice is to systematically wake your body up, wake your experience up, one bone at a time. So get down to the place where you are fully aware that your legs are alive. Fully alive. They might tremble a little bit. Flip your left palm up, reverse the warrior. Reverse. Side body long. Your back hip coming down into the pose. Keep the right side of your body opening. Straighten your front leg on track. Reach up and back. Stretch. Lift up out of your hips. Keep lifting. Over here is lifting, Jenna. Triangle pose. Fingertips on the block or floor behind your front ankle. Turn your body open. Push down on the ball of your big toe in the front foot. Now wrap your top arm around behind your back. Wrap your top shoulder up and around. Keep opening your chest up. You can move your left hand behind you 6 more inches. Drop your head back. Allow your whole body to open. It'll be more than you think you can do. Ease, relax. You've got about 6 more inches available if you're willing to take it. Come up to standing, all the way up. Turn your feet parallel to one another. Face Africa. Interlace your hands behind your back, press your palms together. Move your arm bones to the back of your body. You might need to pause there. You might be experiencing some stretching across the heads of your shoulders. Now lift up high, hinge forward. Can you concentrate on your hips in the back and how they have to open to allow you to hinge? That's it. Soften your knees. Good eye, Rita. All the way forward. Drop your hands overhead. Soften. Just soften the backs of your knees. Your feet, keep them parallel to one another. Kick that heel out. Feeling a little more flexible today, you can keep your hands spilling overhead if you like, or you can reach your hands, let go of them, and then reach them through your legs, around your thighs, and hold hands behind your lower back. You might need to bend your knees to make that reach. A lot of you'll find that your hands don't quite come together. A towel will cover the distance. Once you do create the bind, then straighten your legs. Amazing opening for your lower back, but a pretty challenging one to create. I know it's a funny one. Every time I ask for this one, you laugh. This is a big pose, very challenging flexibility. I'll say for me, I can only really master this one when I'm in a lot of practice regularly. Do you want to know what the name of it is? Reach around here, Michelle. I think I needed a longer strap for you. You want to know the name? It's called guillotine pose. So it's like you're chopping your head off. There you go, Michelle. The strap goes over your lower back. Your hands reach through your legs and around your thighs to hold the strap. You'll want to bend your legs to get the deepest connection. Okay, release that. Hands to your hips, come up to standing. Turn and face the front of the room. Square your hips. A very long, stable stance. So you three tall ladies, open your stance a little longer. Make it so that you have to work to get your hips square. Right arm overhead, reach down your back, left arm up your back. And pull your belly in and give some space to the curve of your back. As you pull your belly in, create space. Oh, so close. We'll just take this from Chrissy. Oh, you got it. Okay, lift up tall, hinge forward. Hips go back. The deep crease of your hips go back as you hinge forward. Yes, you got it, good. Oh, pause. Right there you tucked. Keep reaching this up and back. There, feel it? It's more intense, huh? Considerably. Halfway lift, release the bind, right fingertips on the ground, prepare for twisting triangle. Reach your left hand to the left side of the room. Make your body long. So the front of your spine, from the crease of your right hip to the notch of your neck, make it long. Longer, Jill. Yes. Then turn. That's it. Let's just order a bunch of them. Last breath, reach up, open as far as you can find, and then hands to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Stretch it out, stretch out. Let's bring some breath into the room. You ready? You can use your knees for this next set of movements if you'd like. Really, you want the integrity of your shoulders more than you want to be on your toes. So I'll let you choose whether to use your knees or your toes. Are you ready? Inhale, come to high plank. Look forward, heels back. Exhale, go to low plank. Inhale, come to high plank. Exhale, downward dog. You make all this movement from your belly. Again, I welcome you to use your knees. Inhale, come to high plank. Look forward. Exhale, go to low plank. Inhale, come to high plank. Exhale, downward dog. 3 more times. Ready? Inhale, high. Ride on the breath. Exhale, low. Inhale, let it lift you up high. Exhale, downward dog. 2 more. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, high. Exhale, downward dog. Last one. Inhale, high plank. Look forward. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, downward dog. Whoa. Deep breath in. Exhale. Come to a high plank, lower down to your belly. Keep your toes turned under like crescent lunge. Your heels, press them back. Make your legs strong. The back of your pelvis, make it broad and wide and point your tail to your heels. Now, locust pose, arms out to the side like airplane wings and lift up. You don't have to lift high. Make your legs strong. It's the foundation of every back bend. Just stretch your chest forward. Unsqueeze your butt cheeks. You press into my legs here. Pull your belly, your abdominal muscles up into your body. Get a little longer, and then come down. Bend your knees. Flex your ankles. Reach back and hold the tops of your shins. So just below your ankles, hold on to your shins. Floor bow pose. Let your shoulders be stretched behind you. Flex your feet so you can use your awareness in your feet to align the pose. Kick up like your feet are pressing into the ceiling. The ball of your big toe, push it up. The inner edges of your heels, press them up, press them up, press them up. And then you stretch your chest away from your legs to the brick wall in front of you. Long side waist, a critical piece of every back bend. Look up and come down. You can wave your feet from side to side like windshield wipers. Let's take that pose one more time. Bend your knees, hold your shins, flex your feet. I think I say this every Sunday. We just need a 4-hour class on Sunday mornings. Don't you think, Ted? 4 hours. Like we're just getting started. Can you feel that in your body? Freedom is just starting to happen, and now you want to explore. We always come and do all the work, and then it's, oh, where's the freedom? All right, ready? Go. Up you go. Kick with your feet. Now make your waist long. That's it. You know, they used to prescribe back bends as the antidote to back aches. Strong legs. How much space are you creating in your lower back? Check in really quick before you leave the pose. How much space is in your lower back? And come down. Feet side to side. Turn your toes under like crescent lunge. Make your legs strong. Put your hands on the floor. Come to upward facing dog. Strong legs. Arm bones back. Then soften your elbows and press your chest forward. Create a sincere stretching between your belly button and your pubic bone in the front of your body. Lower abdominal muscles fully stretched. Chest up. Soften your elbows. Hips down. Chest up to the ceiling. If your lower back's not feeling well, put your knees on the ground. Chest up. Downward facing dog. Stretch your hips up and back. Take your right leg forward to half pigeon pose. So first order of business is your right thigh. Square your right thigh to the side of your mat. It's tempting to make an angle there with your knee pointing out. Put your knee in front of your hip. Then square your shin up to the head of your mat as best you can. So for some of you, you'll need to modify a lot and have your heel of your right foot back near your left hip. Challenge yourself though. See how much you can square your shin. Then walk your left leg back. At first, before you fold forward, pull your hips square, and if you sit comfortably on the ground, you hover just above the ground. Pull your hips square and pick the pit of your belly up. Increase the amount of space in the crease of your right hip. So that might mean tailbone down, belly up. You don't like this, do you? Fold forward. Looking around and seeing a general, I don't like this, let's move on. You keep just lifting yourself up and making yourself light now. Whoa. That's it. Whoa, you got it. No, you got it. Challenging. So here's the spot. Look for space here. Yeah. There, you found the middle. It is weird, but it makes you come into integrity and out of just flexibility. But it's a challenge for you. You are looking to create a deep sensation in your right hip, not your right knee. And if you do experience the pose in your right knee, you can raise your hand, and we'll be happy to help you adjust your alignment. Good choice, Jessica. Good choice, Rita. Good. Get in there. Good, Katie. How are you doing, Clayton? Good. Are you going to teach yoga when you get back to school? Right now is the time when we're moving to the stage of the practice where we would have, what we've created is that we'd have maximum alertness. Like we're at our most alert, most tuned in. And we're hopefully being able to arrive there with ease. Ease is the thing that powers us to this space. And that means the lowest amount, the least amount of effort right now. Greatest curiosity. That's the maximum alertness, is greatest curiosity. Purposefulness. You can switch to the other side, do it your way. Other side. Your first order of business is the positioning of your left thigh. Your space is here and here. Square hips, so integrate. That's the foundation. It's best to set a purposeful foundation. And the purposeful foundation here is, of course, your left thigh, but then that your two thigh bones are pulling into your midline, pulling into your pelvis instead of moving out. And that's just a micro little change in what's happening. It could just be energetic, just be in your thinking, and that would be enough. When you really feel like you've created integration, then fold forward. It's so easy in this pose to let your legs move away from you and be more like the best way would be to describe that alignment is more like a splat. You're just splat on the mat. We want to be integrated. Once integration is created, I'd be careful about down in this. Long, go for long. So when you put in the right effort of alignment of your foundation, that's the way that you'll have access to great ease here in this pose. Sometimes when we say we're going to do a special something and we're going to do a 2-hour practice, people get pretty frightened by that and think, oh my gosh, I barely make it through the hour or the 90 minutes. Well, every time you come, you do the hard part. When we expand how long we would stay, it's because we would be adding some of the juicy parts. You could definitely do the next hour and a half if we added it on. Should we just stay and do it?
Yeah.
Don't you worry, Chris, you'll be doing it. Come on up, sit on your left hip, swing your right leg around in front of you. Roll onto your back. So you're sitting on two cheeks, legs in front of you, Dandasana, toes up, sit up really tall. Once you get tall, like you've lifted yourself up out of your pelvis, then you can roll back, but stay tall the whole time. Now, open your hips wide in the back so you can sense that your spine scoops under. Pull your belly in, your belly in, your belly in, scoop your spine under. Yeah. Right there. Good, Clayton. Sit, Sierra. Good, Jenna. All the way down. Let's take your feet overhead for plow pose. All the way overhead. If plow is not in your repertoire today, then you are flat on your back. You can take waterfall or Viparita Karani. Take yourself to whichever upside down position is best for you. So plows, you can move on to shoulder stand. Thank you, Ginny. Set yourself up with a strong, steady foundation so shoulders really under you, legs in the air, and generate stillness. That's the rigor of some of these later poses. The early poses, thinking is moving around, the body is moving around, we do moving around stuff. Here toward the end of class, when we're coming into maximum focus and curiosity, then the rigor of our poses is stillness. So use the first few breaths of any pose to make choices, to set it up, to discover and respond. Optimize what your body is up to today in this pose, and then just be still and listen. If I could just pick one thing I learned in yoga, and I've learned so many, so picking one is kind of challenging, but if I could just pick the one thing that's meant the most in my whole life, it has been access to listening. So this stage of the practice right now is an opportunity to have access to listening. Clayton, put this under your lower back, feet on the ground, and lift your hips up so I can put this under. A little higher. Here, you can put, there you go. Or you can put your feet down to set that up. Do you want to put your feet down and put the block deeper under your back? You're good? This will help. Closer to your knees. And just make the whole thing a little easier. There you go. Shoulder stands, return to plow. Land there. To deaf man's pose, knees to your ears. Palms on the ground behind you, or hold the edges of your mat. Feet overhead for as long as you can manage. And then roll your body out one bone at a time. So anchor your shoulders, then pull your ribs down to the mat and glue them there. Stretch your waist long. This is just opposite encounter with gravity as when you sat on your tush and rolled down onto your back just a few moments ago. All the way down. Once you get all the way down, you can hug your knees into your chest. Once your knees have had a chance to hug in, your lower back to release. Could be helpful in the back here to just press straight down. They'll like you so much more. Straight down, bones straight down. Katie, on top, straight down. No, right onto these. It's one of the few times you'll touch their knees. Dana, right here. It's a happy place in the world. Okay, crisscross your legs. So that's nice, but she might most be happy if you want straight down. right into the ground, and then make figure eights. Crisscross your legs at your knees. As twisted up as you can create them. Flex your ankles. So not at your ankles or shins, the crisscross, but at your knees, and then reach for the outer edges of your feet once you've created the crisscrossing. So maybe at first your feet are near your tush, and that's all right. You can start there and soften your hips. And then some of you, you're going to have to hold your shins. Like probably if you're not so flexible in this direction, you'll need to hold your shins instead of your feet. Then move your feet to the back of the room so you create a straight line from ankle through shin to ankle. You'll want to be crisscrossed at your knees. Oh, right there you go. Crisscrossed at your knees. Oh. Okay. It's a lot, right? Change something here. Crisscross, bend, there's the pose. There's the pose. Come back a tiny bit more, Michelle. A lot? Yeah, feels good. Whoa. Sorry. Get a juicier spot. Okay, let's switch sides. Crisscross at your knees. Hold your shins or your feet. Some of you know where you're going now, more into the straight legs, these like a steer pose. Some of you more like a cow. That would be your ankles near your hips. A little bit less intense. Knees. 1, 2, 3. Knees are here, not here. Here. Like in the arc of the moon. Good, Clayton, that works. Okay, hug your knees into your chest. Knees into your chest. A simple twist. Knees to the left, turn, look, and reach to the right. If you've never gotten to take class in our York studio, I recommend a visit. It might not have the aesthetic quality of this room with the windows and the ceiling and the bricks. So it's just like a box in a strip mall. But it's hot. It's not so much that it's hotter, it's a lot sweatier. I like that kind of yoga. Same stuff, just sweatier. Other side. Length. This is a pose that is about length instead of deepening of a twist. It's just length. It's just length. Just length. No extra twisting, just length, gratitude, maximum ease. And then Shavasana. You do have a towel near you that you're welcome to use if you'd like it, a cool eye towel. They're all around. I think it's a pretty great treat at this point, but if it's not for you, you can just leave it on the floor. A few breaths to set this up. You know Shavasana. Open your feet wide and your toes wider. Create it so that your lower back feels pretty good. For some of you, that may mean bending your knees and letting them drop in. Arms by your side and palms face them up to the ceiling so that your shoulder blades really rest in their most broad and comfortable way on the floor. After a little bit of inquiry and response about the positioning of your body, just another breath or two for adjusting yourselves. Then, the rigor of the pose is stillness. So you guys can all go back. So once the movements are complete, you guys can go back to your mats. Back to your mats. Stillness, back to your mat. This is the space that you've worked for the whole practice, waking up your whole body one little part at a time. You can go back to your mat. Sit tall and hold space or relax. This is a space of awareness. Not thinking it's different, it's awareness. Everything around you is happening that was happening before. Even the possibility of thinking about what's happening in the rest of your day is another thing that might still be happening that was happening before. And you don't have to make that go away. What you can create, though, is some space between you, your reality, your experience, and so that relates to your need to respond to anything. So space between you and all of the things that could be happening. That's it. That's all you can manage. You can't make the rest of the world go away, but you can have some space. Take a deep, deep breath in and exhale through your mouth. Deep inhale. As you exhale, squeeze your fingers on your toes. Hug your knees into your chest and roll to your side. And you create the pose here. You be comfortable. Check back into your space. Reestablish, if you need to, your space between yourself and everything else that's going on. Then come up to a sitting position. Keep your eyes closed. Create your position so that you're sitting tall in your spine. Connect to your sense of space, different from things going on. This is your true north. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead, stretch up. Exhale, gather your hands into prayer position. Set the intention for the rest of your day. Then 3 times at your own speed, we'll chant Om together to send ourselves, our energy, our expressions and intentions out into the world. Deep breath in. Deep, deep breath in. And exhale through your mouth. Namaste. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you for playing. Thank you for coming. I hope to see you again soon. If you have any questions about teacher training, about bring your child to class, the 30